Okay. Gotta wait until people are actually here. I'm not doing the countdown. It's just there as a placeholder. I don't. Ah! Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Don't worry. This is a brand new stream, fresh from the press. It's new. It's the same game, but it's new. Pretend the other thing didn't happen. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to wait the full 10 minutes. I'm just going to wait until everybody who was here before is back again. Don't worry about the countdown. It's just there for a placeholder while I wait. I still don't think how that song goes. All right, who do we got watching this besides Gavin? Anyone? All right. I'm so lonely. I don't get Twitch. Like I have this thing on like my creator tab, whatever, that shows the viewer list, but it shows that there's 6 people and like their usernames are here, but on the top it says that there's only one viewer. I don't know what the difference is because I'm just a newbie Twitch streamer. Oh my god, Kaylee, you made it! Yes! The day is good. Kaylee is here. Okay. I hope you guys will like this game. Once we begin, we have literally only people I'm related to via blood are in this stream right now. Cadence is not back, nor is Clint. I'm okay with that though. I don't want to wait the full countdown here, but like if those two don't show up before the countdown reaches 0, I'm just gonna move on. Whichever one comes first, the countdown finishing or Cadence coming back onto the stream. Whichever one comes first. So I texted her and she said she's still on the old stream. I don't know how. I thought I deleted it. She'll be here soon. I presume. We'll begin. Finally. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I'm sure you're all impatient. I don't mean for it to be. Okay, Cadence, if you're here, say something in the chat. You if you are on the new one. Trying to like coordinate with Cadence so that she's watching the new stream and not the old one. Yes, you're here. Okay. We have as many people as I'm probably going to get. So let's just get this over with. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Welcome, the Roadwarden. So, I hate to repeat what I said last time, but this is a game very similar to Six Ages in that it is a very text-heavy story game. And this will be replacing Six Ages because besides what happened last time, I feel that everyone was kind of burnt out on that game, and I don't blame anyone for that because, frankly, I was trying to tell you guys a story through the game that I didn't even fully know or have ever completed. And I think that's my fault because I tried to tell a story that I didn't even know the end of. I'm not an experience. I wasn't experienced with that story, basically. And now I do have a confession. I confessed this last time, but for those of you who didn't watch the previous stream, like 10 minutes ago, I made this revelation about why the last stream burnt people out after I chose this game to play, and I have never played this game before. I pressed play for the first time on this game like 40 minutes ago, and I've never done it before then. I like bought this game on sale months ago and decided to like hold off on playing it in case I wanted to do a blind playthrough for a stream because at the time I thought that was a cool idea. So, like I said before, if this ends up being terrible for the same reasons I said before, I'm more than happy to play a different game. However, um, let's at least give this a shot, shall we? New game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I leave the safety of the city walls. And while I don't know, as a newbie, what any of these mean, I'm going to pick the hardest difficulty, because gosh darn it, am a gamer. We don't play on easy mode. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. Now let's see. I got about this far into the game before I realized that I wasn't properly broadcasting the screen. Let's see. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. Yes, I know. I know that now. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up to you. Stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the harbor. Let's see. They don't look like much of a threat. I enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace, with a head covered in iron, hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, he's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, I believe. I let them speak first. It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this god-forsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong, yet timid. Oh, that wasn't very timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe. But if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. Sure, leave it to me. Fantastic. She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. I ask them about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Okay. Vulnerable, intimidating, distanced, playful, friendly. I'm gonna playfully ask where their lieutenant is. Hey, where's your lieutenant? Oh god, that sounds flirty. Oh god, I'm gonna flirt with the lieutenant. Hmm. Let's see. I don't want to hint at a threat. These guys aren't going to trust me if I come off as aggressive. They're friendly. I'm going to be friendly. Be supportive and cordial. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? Oh, the woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gamison, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. Well, we most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? Oh, so she's the lieutenant. I'm your new Roadwarden. This is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece? All by yourself? Well, better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping cattle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. I shake her hand. I'm ... It may be a trap. A gesture for her to stop, to be embarrassed. I should watch myself first. But you can call me... No. I trust these people. I'm gonna shake her hand. How do you want people to call you? How many letters can I have? A lot of letters. Wow, that's a lot of letters. I can have a really long name. What shall we call ourselves? What shall our legendary Roadwarden be known as? Something intimidating, but yet something mysterious. What is a mysterious and intimidating name? I'm trying to think. Any suggestions? Suggestions. You beautiful, wonderful audience. Have you any suggestions? Smashing. Okay. I'm kidding. Is anybody there, or am I just talking to the void again? Is the stream online? Because I don't want this to be a repeat of like that last time where like it was half hour and nobody was in there because it was offline. Is every Oh, my volume is... I didn't realize that the game volume was off. You couldn't hear this amazing music. My mic was still on, so you guys have no excuse. You all heard me. Hello? Aha. It seems that everybody has left the stream. Okay. I'm going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and just assume that you guys are busy with something. And I'm going to continue on my merry way, just narrating by myself. Gotta think though. Gotta think of a name. Name. Something cool. Something with an N name. Not Nathan. Nathan is not intimidating. Nathan. No, William. William is not. It sounds noble, but not intimidating. Something like... God, I am the worst at coming up with names. Absolute worst. Let's name him... X? No. Any name that starts with X is edgy. Cassius. Cassius, that sounds like a name, but I know that name from somewhere, but who's a famous Cassius? Oh, it's like a politician. I just googled that. He was credited with influencing Russian support for the Union during the American... Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I'm not going to do more than just a skim on that Wikipedia article. Let's name him Cassius. That sounds kind of cool. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. Oh, no problem. I enjoy observing the stars. Or I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. I enjoy observing the stars. Those are pretty cool. As we live in a fantasy world, light pollution isn't a thing, and we can all see the full extent of our beautiful galaxy. We don't get that in the modern age, because we are miserable and full of artificial light. I hate it. Anyway, you walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky. Heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. That's one way to describe my horse. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. Oh, so the palfrey is my horse. That's a type of horse. It's a type of horse. I'm the companion here. I want it to feel at ease. Or, I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel, and I can't afford another one. I want it to feel at ease. I want a nice, relaxed horse. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch... Oh. Sorry, I knocked something over off of my desk. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. Oops, excuse me. I'm just a horse girl, aren't I? I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with... Nicker? That's a word. Oh god, don't take that. With relief. I'm just gonna move on without any additional comment. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. What's this? You haven't brought that many things, but you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Oh my god. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Couldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Ah, yes, because I have so many dragon bones. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essential for your trade. Fighter. I spent my savings on a decent combat equipment, a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a gambeson. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a healing potion. I want to learn more about the three classes. Yes, I have no idea what any of these are. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden during dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes. What opens unique opportunities during some social interactions? It's the best class for RPG beginners. Fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available for you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses Pneuma? Sounds like pneumonia. I almost read that as pneumonia. I was really concerned. It's a versatile but limited pool of energy points that you can spend to cast various humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage, you'll be able to heal faster while resting. Detect magic in a mysterious area. Distract a beast with a simple magic trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no pneumonia left when you need it the most. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. I'll be a fighter. Yes. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. Good to know. I have a 3-4 armor rating. It will stop even a life-threatening strike. With your current gambeson, it's the best protection you can get. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Ah, yes. Stuff. Look at my stuff. I have stuff. Yes, it is indeed stuff. We have 2 food rations, a pouch with 5 coins, a gambeson, of course, the travel set, a crossbow, and a well-crafted battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters, while having a weapon made of steel makes it clear that you are someone to be reckoned with. That's me! I am a force to be reckoned with. Anyway, I got distracted. I get distracted way too easily on this stream, I swear. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. I return to the soldiers. Table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end table. You can sit down on a tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. I completely ignore the meal. I sit down to speak to Tulia. I mean, I'm hungry. I'm not just going to ignore food just because I want to hit it up with the cute lieutenant or whatever. So I'm going to thank, but I don't want to eat with... No, I'm going to join them and take the meal. I'm going to join them. It's cold gruel, the meat eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. And when there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. It's this. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies in the inventory. Good to know. So we have we have time here. It's 15 minutes before dusk, so it's fairly late in the day. Vitality, nourishment, and armor, which is fairly high because we have a pretty good gambeson, thanks to me being a fighter. But, I wonder if there's going to be anything else. This is like the 4th slot here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now focus on the taste, because good grief, I don't want to focus on the taste of watered hog's meat scraps and blueberries. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would to, less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in well, any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider to be relevant, or what I've discussed with the officials should stay between me and them. No. Like I said, I don't want to be hostile with these guys. I want to share what I consider to be relevant. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Pavlovan to keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where shall we start? What should I know about the peninsula? Any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? I've lost my rope. Could you spare one? What happened to your squad? Tulia, how did you become lieutenant? What was your squad's mission? Anything I should know about this camp? If you were me, where would you go next? Before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about the peninsula, the Roadwarden, and the rope. Well, I guess we'll start with the peninsula. I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day. As long as you don't make any stops. You know the situation. Why no ships can get there? You nod. The sea route allows Hovlavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villagers, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Celts of the north, they're happy to trade, and to play dice. Why not just stay in one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and, well, he turns to Tulia. He lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Cassius, but are you a devout soul? Well, like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and the soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. So basically we have to choose our religion, or lack thereof. This is interesting. I want to be part of the United Church. That sounds cool. Gonna be like a mighty paladin traveling the roads to enact holy justice among the wretched beasts that plague our civilization. A fellow unite, the man smiles. Though in this land it won't bring you much good. Oh, at least we can discuss the topic freely, adds the lieutenant, with a barely visible smile. Well, let's get into it. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. Peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. Yes. I knew that, of course, because I've played this game before, of course. What does it say? 0 hours, 0 minutes before dusk. So doesn't that just mean it's dusk? I think that just means it's dusk. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return. Okay, this guy sounds like a conspiracy theorist, but I'll take his word on that. You've heard tales such as this one ever since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy the river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? And how about the East? Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? Well, that's all I need to know. I actually thought when he said that they were using bodies to cut down trees, like that meant that literally, not in a necromancer way. And I just imagine these like people desperate for survival with no usable axes, literally swinging around corpses of their fallen brethren at trees, as if that would somehow knock it down. Needless to say, I feel a little bit silly with that assumption. That, however, does not make that any less hilarious, in my opinion. Anyway, I think I ought to ask about any monsters worth mentioning, because I remember earlier it said that some monsters might catch up with my horse, and I don't like the sound of that. We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, tree ants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mufflin eaters, griffins. But we manage to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine, the trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? Oh, you can see why we were eager. We were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first and soon. Julia nods. Pelt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards. Ask them about the road. And how about the east? Oh, she stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness, all around. That's all I need to know. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. And we're back to all these options. We need to ask about the previous Roadwarden. Any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? Julia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldier speaks for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on the wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Julia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. A man carves with passion. We haven't seen him. Or Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? I don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Yep, that's quite the bonus, I suppose. You know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Oh, neither of us had any insight into his dealings, says Julia. My predecessor left me no clues. He also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Oh, wait! She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hovlovan. I was planning to take all his things. A pouch, a second spear, decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about the father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since he hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We were meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us. Tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hovlovan together? You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Hovlovan in the early fall anyway. Well, if he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. New journal entry. Find the Roadwarden. Use your journal to see the list of quests. Before I became the Roadwarden of this peninsula, a man known as Asterion used to patrol these roads. If I manage to find out what happened to him and bring the news to Tolia from the southern camp, I'll receive his abandoned belongings. What other things do we know? Humans. Oh, we actually have biographies for the people that we've met. That's cool. We have Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. He disappeared a couple months ago under unknown circumstances. The merchants would like to find out. Short but broad-shouldered, red hair and beard, pale, wears mail. He's pale and wears mail. Ah yeah! Rides on a four-legged lizard. according to Tulia, he was a bit of a recluse, constantly on the move, looking for work. Since he disappeared before summer, he may already be dead. His kids live near Hovlevan. One of the last soldiers left in the peninsula. She is stationed at the military camp in the south. She plans to return to Hovlevan in the near future. So we have groups and places, the city of Hovlevan and bestiary. Whoa, that's a lot. Apes and monkeys, beast folk, corpse eaters, dragonlings, dragons, foxes and such, gargoyles, goblins, golems, griffins, harpies, howlers, hunt lords, large cats, pebblers, runners, saurians, spiders, treants, trolls, undead, unicorns, and wolves. That is impressive. And the glossary. Oh, that's a lot to read. That's a lot to read. That's a lot to read. I'm guessing this is like a lot of lore stuff, sort of like what 6 Ages had. I'm not going to read these unless people want me to. But given the fact that there's no one else watching this, I have no one to tell me to read it, so I'm just gonna move along. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, he's a spear, mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long, red beard, short hair, pale face. Rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. To find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left. Just let me know. Anyway, before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about the rope. Ah, you're in luck! She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits it down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. I take a closer look. A fine rope. A regular rope made of hemp fibers. So I can buy it for free, or I take it and offer some food in return. I mean, she was just gonna abandon it anyway. I mean, I like being friendly with these guys, but I'm not just gonna give them food if they're not expecting it. So I'm just gonna buy it for free. Tulia nods. You leave the rope on the table. So, what? I'm curious. Tulia, how did you become a lieutenant? Oh, that's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of... what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Hovlevan chief selects commanders, and those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him. Oh, his boyfriend? Ooh, representation. But failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Or jumping like that to save a man in the middle of an attack. Doesn't sound like a wise decision. No, that sounds... no, it's fine. It sounds kind of insensitive to say that if Tulia was close with these two, so I'm just gonna choose not to say that. Basically, yeah. She says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. So, what happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits attacked. Bandits happened. I don't know why I read attacked. And monsters! Monsters! A strong band, though, his companion chimes in. Then, we got to the peninsula in spring. I almost... We saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for it. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms as she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where. For letting the Northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Oh, don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over the camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. He looks at you. We cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Oh, nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader. And they didn't, trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough. Didn't tell us that he had cuts in his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. Oh, what a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. You've made this place safe. Barely. Julia seems tired. Who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. What was your squad's mission? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. The usual. Making the road safe. Keeping people alive. I explained that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. Oh, I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost nearby. A place where you can always find fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions... Well, anything I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and the southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. Oh, you can sleep here wherever you want, the man concludes their tale. Though, don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. I sleep in a modern bed and I can barely wake up without a pain in my back, so honestly, I doubt this would be much better. Well, if you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. Well, to the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. One northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulip. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen, and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. It's getting late. You should prepare for the night. It is indeed nighttime. Open the archive to reread the most recent text. I agree. Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. Stay tidy to have a better chance to influence others. Appearance. You don't stand out from the crowd. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Okay. So I guess cleanliness is a stat in this game. I don't think I've ever had cleanliness as a stat in a video game outside of, like, The Sims or, I'm trying to think of another game that's like that. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably something like that. But thanks to this archive, I can like reread all of the text in detail, which is nice because while there was something like that in 6 Ages, it wasn't particularly detailed. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Is this guy ever going to introduce himself? Like, he's just the soldier in the shirt. Is he in the journal? No, he's not in the journal. So he's just this dude, and I don't know his name for whatever reason. Whatever, he's eager to guide me. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around. They won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall. Smelling the wall? Though it has never tried to get in. Okay, that's... he points at the gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if this is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on a watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower? Oh, he gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here. He points at a pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view at the northern side. The more dangerous side. So wait, this pile of crates on this picture here, that's their watchtower? All right, I'm not gonna dunk on them too bad. This is probably the best they can do in this situation. I mean, 6 people are missing in action from this crew, so I can't blame them too much. Boy. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple of hours of sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest, just this once. At least have a pallet inside. Smile. Thanks a lot. I walk away. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I mean, if he's offering, I'm not gonna complain about a few mildly more comfortable hours of sleep. I smile. Thanks a lot. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm. A sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds. There are exceptions. At one point, you see 3 horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. I don't let it distract me. I keep looking around. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, climb down and go to a tent. Waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words, you confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow and my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with my cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. What is the real goal? New journal entry. Explore the peninsula. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Hovlevan officials and traders. Should the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time. 30 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. So that's the time limit that showed up in the difficulty selection screen earlier. So I have 30 days to explore this place as much as humanly possible for this job. So I guess this series is going to last 30 days. Which is nice to know, because unlike 6 Ages, I don't know when it would end, because I've never beaten that game before. So that's comforting. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hovlevan. There, you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I need to gather some extra coins so I can help a person I care about. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm. Hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past, and I want it to be forgotten. These are all very interesting. Let's see. Think. I mean, I'm already like a... Let me think. I can make money to help people. I can make money so I can retire early and live a peaceful life. I can try to get clout. I can be a hero. I could just help people. You know what? I'm just gonna help people. I want to make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. Yes, help others. New entry. You can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Alright. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious. Pleasant, humid, late summer air evens it out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. All I can do now is rest. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. So that's -1 to my appearance and -2 to my hunger. I think that's what that means. Let's sleep. And so ends day 1. You're woken up by sunlight, well-rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning, rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemptuously. Tulia is the first one to address you. Ah, Cassius, she greets you with a nod. The horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. Can you at least, tell what it... Oh, is this a funeral pyre? Oh... That's a human, isn't it? Oh, a traveler or an undead. Oh, the burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. Oh, and I thought they were cooking. Oh, no. Ah, the latter. The other one. She looked like she had pneumonia to understand what she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now, it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, and even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a long time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. That's, curious. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks away. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learned what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. Many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. I prepare myself for the journey. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. Soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt and get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads, north from here. Use the travel button to see the map and move to the other area. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak with Tulia to return to Hovelvan. Alright. Map key. Okay, nighttime shelter. Tulia's camp, a military outpost surrounded by a wooden wall, set in the middle of the valley. You're currently here. That I am. Travel north. Fade to black. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find a pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. I consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. Usually, the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up the couple of hours you're thinking about your conversation. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. I keep missing punctuation. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia. Got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. I've got to be as thorough as possible in 30 days. I gotta go fast. If you have any vitality, you can use the warrior's training to access unique interactions. What's this? The dice icon, right? Die icon, that's one die, marks the actions that involve a random chance. Good to know. Force. As an experienced warrior, you gain an advantage during physical struggles. Getting through them should be easy enough, but do I want to use force? I grab my crossbow. A light hit should be enough to make them scatter. I should stay here. Better safe than sorry. I take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. I don't know if I can just constantly use... I don't know how this game works. I don't know if I can constantly use force anytime I want to. or if it's like a limited thing. So I'm gonna like take a chance and take my axe and hurt the horse because I definitely don't want to wait. I am hungry and I don't remember having much food. I have 2 food rations. So I don't know how long that's gonna last me. Again, never played this game before, but here we go. Oh, that's not good. Initially, your horse completely trusts your guidance, though after a few more steps, it snorts. You prepare your axe and get ready to push away any griffin willing to jump on you. Once you get in the middle of the surprised herd, your mount squeals and gallops forward. The creatures in front of you flee, but others try to jump at you from both sides. You kick 2 of them away, but the third one scratches your leg. It hurts, though only a bit. You ride away, and the griffins can't keep up. You still hear the screeches when your mount slows down. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet. While your vitality is above 0, you find ways to overcome. Right, okay. Oh, there's like different things contributing to my appearance. That's interesting. So vitality, cleanliness, whether my clothes needs to be repaired or if it's stained or if I have a regular outfit, these all contribute. Well, I mean, currently it's not contributing, but it could contribute. Possibilities. Anyway, once I get to a safer spot, I stop to clean and bandage my wound. Ooh, I got an achievement. Keep track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush, and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? That's probably how it went. I'm sure I've sung that right. The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write. For folks who can't read, covered in old red paint. It points east. Blood there, as people say. Danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. I look at my horse. What say you, horse? What's its name? Oh, what's the horse's name? Ooh. I'd really like to name my horses Zeus. This goes back to when I first played Harvest Moon on my 3DS, and like my horse was a pure white. You start that game with a horse, and it was pure white, and I was like, and I was just coming up with names, and I thought white, kind of like what white lightning. I was like, so I'm gonna name my horse Zeus, and so I named it Zeus. It was the Tale of Two Towns, that Harvest Moon game. So even though Zeus probably doesn't exist in this world, I'm gonna name my horse Zeus. Zeus is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on. It takes a couple steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to grow maturity. Time to make a turn. So to the right, or to the left, west or east. A point connecting to the deep forests of the east to the western wetlands and the road to Hovlevan. You're currently here. Indeed, I am. Now, exploring east does sound pretty cool and adventurous, but I'm a coward. And I also really want to know what happened to the last Roadwarden, so I'm going to go west. Zeus trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. What's a roe deer? Roe is like fish eggs, right? So what does that have to do with deer? Do these deer just consume the unborn fish? I don't know. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you. Once you push your hips toward and your paltry enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. Speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. Must be the inn I've heard about. Yes, of course. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There were seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into the fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet, right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambesons. Each one of them dyed differently: yellow, green, and linen gray. I approached the gate, of course. Why would I not approach the gate? I didn't come all the way here just to chill on the outside. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I hasn't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass. Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Hovlevan. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. I don't know what the accents in Hovlevan are like, so I'm just I don't know. I'll develop an accent as we go along, maybe. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Wow, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? Let's see, vulnerable. Oh yeah, same options as last one. Vulnerable, intimidating, distance, or playful. I'll say playful. This seems like a fun person. Let's just. You wouldn't believe it. The lessons were a pain. You get off your horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey. When your whole shell was crying, you illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to hips and thighs. In return, the guards tell you about that time they had to carry their friend off with bitten off legs for 3 days straight. Oh my god. Through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the others opened the gate. That's a funny story. They had to carry someone with bitten off legs for 3 days, and that's a funny story? Are you okay? Do you know what fun is? You may be in a good mood. The woman in the yellow jacket smiles at you. But don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted on his face. She leads you under the roof under which your palfrey can rest. My eyes are so tired, and I'm not mentally tired. It's not that late. I don't know why I'm so tired from reading. I read books, but like when I read long text in video games, my eyes just kind of hurt sometimes. Anyway, tethered with a cord to a wooden post near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside. Speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry? Oh, I am very hungry. Hi. I am so hungry. You won't restore health while sleeping or resting. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as if they're splitting firewood, cleaning your clothes, and weeding the garden patches and moving chairs. Two of them are making a rope. You head towards the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. I open the door. New shelter unlocked. If you are at an inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting. That sounds wasteful. The locked windows makes the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. Oh, you're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft, with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen intention, yet avoids your eyes. I've got a keg of decent ale, wormwood, a bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot, and he fills a mug carefully and puts it on the countertop. It's gonna spoil soon, today maybe, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and his hair naturally bluish. His clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. He'll stand at the counter. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go. He pushes the mug forward. Just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Hovlevan. You can sleep on the floor if you wish to, but if you want a bed or a meal, you have to. We may have some leftovers from dinner, but I'd need to check. Remember, this guy is kind of a stick in the mud. We don't want to be too friendly or playful with them, so neither of these options. Distance, intimidating? I don't know if I want to intimidate him. Let's just be distance. Hide your emotions. I won't stay here for long. I myself. He nods and fills another mug, this time with water. I guess there's no point in waiting for Asterion, then. I'm glad to see someone taking his place. Even my crew here hits the road only if they see the healers of the Howler's Dell. And they're more than resourceful. A road's always going to find work here in North. Though maybe not on the eastern road. God, my throat is so sore when I talk this much. I love doing this, but I love doing these streams, but my throat is so sore after each and every one of them. Takes a mouthful of water and drinks it with a pleased sigh. There are no guests at here at this time. Hardly ever. I can take a short break. For a brief moment, he meets your eyes. I drink the ale, or I ignore the ale, and tell the man I have a couple of questions. I think it'd be rude to ignore the ale, even if it is probably going to expire today. Let's drink it. The dark room and wooden walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The Leon Springs hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex, too flowery. While the brewer has used fancy ingredients, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. Now, you know why there's so much left. Maybe it takes an acquired taste. The innkeeper nods. I was hoping to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with a worrying thought I've had, which is... Oh, there are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thais, the mayor, about Glossia, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glossia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them in your band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have the chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? 3. Oh, he nods with a smile. What else do you need? I worked. I must be a smooth negotiator. I just say one word and my profits go up 50%. One word, that's all it takes. So what else do we need? I could eat something. Do you have any leftovers? What do you have for sale? Oh, do I have anything you'd like to buy? I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. What can you tell me about the peninsula? I didn't expect to find an inn size in a place such as this. About Glossia's band. Any rumors worth sharing? Or that's all I need, and I go outside. No, I don't want to go outside. That's too much to know. I have 5 coins. I'm curious. I want to ask questions first. Could I eat something? Do you have any leftovers? Oh, yes. I feed them to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing. He tells you to wait, then leaves the building for a few minutes and returns with a wooden bucket and a long stick, ending with a hook. Go through the gate and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucket full and you'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse needs a nap anyway, and I'll prepare something to fill you. The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's a long, curved claw, almost black. I reach for the tools. Half an hour? That's quite a lot for berry picking. I won't do that. Do I look like someone who forages for berries? Ha! Well, I do, actually. I'm gonna do it, because I want food. I want food. I am so hungry. If he is willing, if I can just spend a half hour of my time for some free food, I'm perfectly fine with that. The tools are cold, not too heavy. You notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket. The berries are not the problem, the innkeeper smirks. Unlike the snakes, better scare them away with a stick, or move them with a hook, and protect your hands. The little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient. I have other questions. Oh, that just brings me back here. No, I want to do... No, I want the food. I want the food. How do I go back? Go back. Time travel. Dang it. Why is that not an option? I'm gonna quick save. If I go outside and then go back in. No, that's not a thing. That is fantastic. Whatever. Maybe that's for the best. I was probably gonna get bitten by snakes or whatever. I'm still hungry, but what do you have for sale? Oh, I can go and pick up a few things for you. Some food for your travels to start with. Apples, nuts, sausage. Not too many at once. We need to maintain our supplies. I've got an elk fur I don't need. Its buyer was caught by a pack of red wolves. Nice for a sleeping spot, just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap. Priceless for a traveler. You can't tell if he's being sarcastic. Made of fine oak ash. Strong, though you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. After you mention you'd like something more useful on these roads, he looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of our crossbows and a bunch of quarrels. A U-bow, wool cords, and the trigger needs just a little bit of oil. It's as good as you can get without soaking it in magic. It takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. I won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give you a discount to a helpful ally. Let me take a look at what you have first. Ha! This is all incredibly... That's an expensive elk fur. We have 3 filling meals that won't spoil anytime soon. A set of 5 arrows for a crossbow. An oak-based balm that burns skin on longer contact. So So, I don't want any of that. Really want to go back and pick those berries. Gosh darn it, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Ah! Do I have anything you'd like to buy? Different traders are interested in different goods. They will purchase only some of the things you have to sell, and their offers may vary. Good to know. You pull out some items, but the innkeeper shakes his head. I don't need those, nor can I sell anyone. I'd rather make coins than waste them. Bring me something of value. I pack my things. I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. How are you now? He goes to the table and invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be much help. He rests his elbow on the table, on the tabletop, and grunts quietly to clear his throat. But I do want you to find him, so when asked about his intentions, he measures his words. Asterion and I made a risky deal. Well, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. He knocks on the table with a fist anxiously. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed after bringing me the news. Could it be that Asterion stole the coins and ran away? He looks at the window and starts to play with a shutter. I just think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. For him, it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying he had earned my trust. Not only mine, you know. It's easy for a Roadwarden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. He rubs the table with his thumb as if trying to clean an invisible stain. I've asked travelers. I've sent a couple of pals to find him. No real news. I knew he stayed in White Marshes for a day and was meant to do something for the people there. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs and enter them. You may get there before dusk. So, let me know once you find anything, and we may get into this whole investment thing. I'll think about it. Something tells me he's not telling me the full story on this investment. Not just that he's being vague about the investment in the first place, but it might not be an investment in the first place. Like, it's something else. But I suppose that's none of my business as long as I'm getting paid. So what can you tell me about the peninsula? Oh, what can anyone say? This place doesn't even have a name. Unless there's an old book in an archive that no soul knows about. You know what I'd call everything from here to the coast? A hunting ground. He glances at your eyes. But it's not us who hunt. Keep that in heart. But the beasts in all shapes and forms. His words gains confidence slowly, which is strengthened by his deep voice. I've lived in this inn for over 10 years now, and I've only seen a couple of roads, a couple of places. It's just, once you get here and you see how harsh it is to hit the road, you have only more reasons to stay at the warm stove, behind a wall, even if it's suffocating. He looks toward the windows. I'm sure you've heard a lot lately that the people don't build hamlets anymore. There are no more ibexes from the south, and the traders stay for only a few days. All of our iron is used for cauldrons, not swords or tools. How long have I been streaming for? Only been streaming for an hour and a half. Okay, what will I find traveling west? Are the eastern roads as rough as I've heard? Have you been to the northern coast? All I need. That's never all I need. I need to know more. I desire knowledge. I crave the meaning of your existence. Oh, I only know about another inn. It's far from here, maybe a day on foot, a bit less from the eastern side. His eyes once again focus on the floor. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a safe place, close to villages of fishers and hunters, though I don't know much about them. What will I find traveling west? Well, there are hills nearby. Then you'll find a village, maybe an hour away from here. It was destroyed by beasts almost a decade ago. Nothing to see there. The goblins live there now, so most people just travel around it. And they say it's haunted. But who knows? Who cares? He crosses his arms and starts to sway back and forth, gathering his thoughts. You'll get to a large tree on the edge of the swamp. For the locals, it's sacred. You're not used to hearing someone mentioning pagans as if there's nothing unusual about them. Well, there's a small path south which leads to an old mine in the mountains. Nothing to find there, but keep riding north and you'll find Howler's Dell, set at a clean brook. Farmers live there, and mufflins and druids. They'll let you stay for a night, but they're not cheap. If anyone thinks my prices are bad, it means they ain't been to the Ape Ale Inn yet. He lets out a gentle smile. I smile politely. I only know a bit about the next settlement, Old Pagos. The soil there ain't too fertile, so they work in their quarry and help other settlements build things in exchange for crops. The forests and hills ain't too harsh, but the Seekers have a small monastery nearby in the mountains. I don't care much about them. They keep to themselves, and they don't pay well. The third village is unknown to me. White marshes, set at the bogs. I've heard it smells like a griffin's lair. I've heard a lot of nasty rumors about that place, but I won't share them. I don't want to be a lie spreader. Oh no, you wouldn't want to be a lie spreader. What? Anything but a lie spreader. I'd rather be friends with Hitler than even be in the same room as a lie spreader. So, 3 villages, really. Howlers, the one near the monastery, whatever it's called, and marshes. Don't let their beds and palisades fool you. Weird people live there. Don't tell them more than you need to. I wonder if it's something you would tell other travelers as well. So we got, are the eastern roads as rough as I've heard? Pretty much. Don't leave the main road, I'd say. Not so far from here, and you'll find an old dolmen. A few of my people had to spend a night there, and monkeys stole food and gouds from their bags. It was their fault. One of them had fallen asleep in the middle of his watch. But you know, the eastern forests are wild. Roads are rough. Almost no soul lives there. One day, all these roads will be swallowed by the trees again. The furthest my team has ever gone was the home of the Enchantress. Just stay on the track until you reach the crossroads, right near an abandoned watchtower. From there, turn east, and you'll recognize the place. It's a nice home in a lonely meadow, surrounded by a wall. He looks towards the closed window, then at you again. Kind of like our walls, but simpler, without coating. She lives as a hermit. Eudocia sounds like a nicer name. I'm gonna say Eudocia. Oh, I don't even know how she survives there, but if you don't have a decent coin, you won't find much there. So she's a shrewd businesswoman. I can respect that. So, back to the crossroads. If you turn left instead, you'll see a road. People stay away from it. It connects the tower and the monastery. A shortcut between the two sides of the peninsula. I was warned by the locals not to use it. It already belongs to the beasts. Well, that's all I need. I didn't expect an inn of this size at a place such as this. So you know a thing or two after all. His mocking tone is soon replaced by a gentle smile. It was built long before we arrived. Sorry, I was yawning. It didn't work out well for the previous owners. Once the war ended, they left. Not enough travelers, bad trade, the villagers stick to themselves. We, however, came prepared, and now we're prospering. Business is booming, baby! That's what teamwork does. Teamwork makes the dream work. when you ask him about how he can afford all the supplies, he runs his fingers through his dark hair. I'm not against running an inn, but don't rely on guests. We're the ones doing all the trading. My hunters are a clever bunch and stay safe in the forest. In exchange for furs, claws, and bones, we get what we need, and more. Both from the south and the north. He relaxes in his chair. We have a good life here. We spent a whole lot on armor, crossbows, lumber, spears, but in another 10, maybe 20 years, we'll have enough savings to move to Hovlavon, and not work for another day of our lives. We take risks, but smartly. The team is stronger than ever, and I have big plans for us. Do you now? Do you now? I'm sure in this dangerous hellscape, you'll definitely survive another 10 years and retire. It's surprising to find a purple-skinned man so far in the north. I can't just say that. Who would say that? So, you're purple, huh? No. Is there a good story behind the inn's name? Oh, I mean, there's a story. It's hilarious, Gavin. Yes, it is. Sorry, Gavin likes to torment me when I stream. He doesn't like to watch my streams, though. Not that I blame him. I'm liking this game so far, though. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if future people who are watching this playback are enjoying it, but I'm certainly enjoying it. Anyway, for years I wanted to have an inn called Pelt, but in my city it would be in bad taste. Taverns and inns named with a single word were cheap, had a nasty reputation. There was the Claw and Mugger, Basilisk, Blissful, I think. The good places used at least 2 words: empty barrel, a rose in a helmet, Empress's sail, pig head was the exception. It was a real dive. In my soul, it's still just a pelt. Pelts are what we came here for, and what will make us reach our goals. I'm not gonna ask him about the purple skin thing. That just sounds insensitive. Hey, why are you purple? So about Glossia's band. He freezes, observing her hands silently. He wants me to get an answer from the mayor of Hallam's Dell. I'm on it. Okay, any rumors worth sharing? Oh, he crosses his arms. I don't like to talk about people who ain't nearby, but you know what you're doing. Who are you wondering about? Tell me about... Use the keyboard to name people that you're interested in. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. I get to type? I get to type! That's amazing. I don't think I've seen this in a game in a long time. Who do we know? Who do we even know? Where's the... Journal. Humans. Asterion, Pelton, Keep, Tulia. Does he know Tulia? I'm gonna ask about Tulia. Well, I ain't seen Tulia in quite some time, since her squad vanished in the fogs. Been careful. Glad to know she's still alive. She's too inexperienced to lead us to battle, I think. He shrugs. Like most people, she needs to follow orders, but she already knows that. There's nothing worse than a fighter too stupid to limit their ambitions. How about... I want to ask if he knows, like, the other guy at Tulia's camp. The man with the red beard. You know him? I don't know them. What, Tulia's partner? Don't know them. Let's look in the archives. What did the game refer to him as? I know he doesn't have a name, but like, if I can scroll back and see like how they call him. Oh, it doesn't go that far back. Oh no. Let's change the subject to someone else, I guess. Can we ask about Asterion? Asterion. Well, not a large man, though broad-shouldered, red-haired and beard. Oh no, that was Asterion who had red beard, not Tulia's partner. Oh, stupid. I don't know what to say. He raises a muscled arm and places a hand on the back of his head. He was a fine fellow, but I doubt he's alive. He always tried to stay away from things, let's say. People knew him, but he didn't really have allies. Maybe the locals know what happened to him, yet decided not to help him, or they wanted to get rid of him. He leans forward, looks at his boots. Asterion was a fine man, quiet one, but not dumb. He aided me many times, not for free, of course. And when he couldn't finish the job, it was for damn good reasons. And you know what? He looks at you in the eyes. He was scrupulous, patient. I'd be shocked if he died because of some mistake of his. The bandits got to him. Why not? How about the tooltip mentioned Empress? Who's the Empress? Empress. So what do you mean? Are you trying to find her after all these years? The Empress is gone, and she will never be back. She's as dead as shit. Okay, alright. How about the Emperor? Just like me. What do you mean? Oh, it's the same thing. Wait, so there's no Emperor. Okay, is there a king? I don't know them. They're a queen? I don't know them. Mayor of, how do you spell that town again? Havlavan. How do you spell? Scroll up on there. Where's in the journal, groups and places. Havlavan. Mayor of Havlavan. What do you mean you don't? Did I misspell it? Mayor of Havlavan. Havlavan. Yeah, I spelled it right. Is it capital? Don't know. No, he just doesn't know the mayor. I mean, I guess that's fair. Goblins? Can we ask about goblins? Don't know them. Oh, who's that person in the yellow? Woman in yellow jacket? Ah, our Dalit? Why do you ask? I've never said she was a girl, so you'd better not bother her. If you're looking for a master of the crossbow, she's an obvious pick. Okay, so now we know her name. That's nice. Who's the other people? What were the other colors of the jackets? No, that's probably not. There's gray linen. Soldier, or I guess guard might work better. Guard in gray jacket. I don't know them. What do you mean? They work for the other one. I think the other one was green. I guess soldier might work. Soldier in gray jacket. Maybe it's the wrong gray. Soldier in, I'm gonna spell it this way. Gray jacket. What do you mean? Wall guards. Guard. Soldier. Oh no, there just means Julia. Guys at gate with armor. Okay, for real. I really want to know about the other guys. Soldier in, I believe the other one's green armor? Okay, I give up. We're not asking about... Okay, how about... Oh, don't get awkward, Roadwarden. Do you only know the previous Roadwarden? Other Roadwardens? No. Roadwardens. Okay, so he doesn't know about other Roadwardens, just me and the other guy. What if I enter my own name? It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. How about you? But there's nothing you need to know about me to survive on the road. I'm Layson. I've been in a city, and I'm here. Alright, so his name's Layson. That's with a... Oh, no, that's an I. That's the weirdly curved... Hey, Iason. Iason? I'm going to assume it's pronounced like Ian, but it's like there's an S-O at the middle, so it's just Iason. Iason. That's a weird name. Who else to ask about? Do I know to ask about? Let's see. Where's the mayor of that town? White Marsh Mayor? Do you know them? Don't know them. Do you know anyone in White Marsh? No. Oh, I wonder if they know the old lieutenant. How do you spell lieutenant? Alright, I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna shamelessly... Who am I getting? Shamefully Google how do you spell lieutenant. Yeah, that's how I thought you spelled it. Nope, they just mean Tulia. How about Tulia's old lieutenant? Don't know them. Alright, I give up. I'm sure this is incredibly boring watching me just ask about people, so we're gonna change the subject. That's about all I can do, so I'm just gonna go outside. Step outside. Zeus is looking around. At this hour, the armorer's workshop is closed. I can approach the guards. Right, I wanted to talk to the guards. I'm gonna go approach them. The woman in yellow armor is near next to a brown, hairy boar, which is resting on its side. The beast is not as large as the dark ones out from the forests. He responds to the touch of the human's hand and brush with grateful grunting and rapid twitches of a hind hoof. No matter how friendly it appears, it's still tethered to the well. And you have no doubts that its charge would leave Zeus dead in a breath. Oh, so it's like a big boar. Really big boar. Big boy boar. When the woman notices you, she steps forward, to the boar's disappointment. So, the new Roadwarden! She points at a window with her chin, forestalling the question. We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we can use some assistance. She may be around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time on her unpowdered face. Like many red-haired people with freckles, her skin is unhealthily pale. Irish people, am I right? Am I right? The boar runs up to her, observing your boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. She pats its back, but maintains her focus. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time and can talk about this and that. Maybe you'll get a couple of coins, or lose one. She winks. We could play dice, or throw axes at a target. I don't really have time. I don't gamble. Nah, just kidding. Let's throw some axes. Show me what you got. Axes. You're a rival. and especially the dragon bone you pull out, are cheerfully welcome. The guards prepare a couple of wooden planks, which are leaned against the wall. There are also spectators, and you're told that the other hunters are either sleeping or have duty on the tower. Remember, no magic, says one of the players. His face is deadly serious. Oh, I love a guy with a deadly serious face. There's going to be 4 participants and 8 rounds. You aim at the target drawn with charcoal. The person whose axe lands the closest to the center of the circle gets a point. The axe that failed to stay in the plank doesn't count. The person who has the most points at the end of the last turn becomes the winner. I blend in with the group. You talk a lot, but you don't say much. Casual jokes, memories, and views on luck and optimal strategies. Zeus and Tullia's camp are also brought up, but when you ask about the roads of the locals, their stories are vague. The drinks are here. It's a poor beer made from the leftovers after the regular brewing. It's cold, sweet, and doesn't reach your head, but you try to avoid the smell. Just don't spill anything. The poor may get sick, says the opponent with one arm. I was like, I want to know about that guy. I should ask Eason about him. We're just gonna ask Eason more questions. We're gonna interrogate this dude. As a guest, you start with the first throw. Your axe flies well, hitting the very middle of the painted target and piercing the plank with a pleasant thud, which makes it really difficult for the other players to outperform you. A minute later, you've won the first round, but you can't expect to be that lucky every time. All I can do is try my best, or I can use force. I've trained in axe throwing for years. I've got this. Even though you get 2 points, Dalit gets 1 more. Yes! She raises her fist and nods to the spectators, who chuckle at her cheeky pride. After you give her your coin, she looks you in the eyes with a smile. Man. Dalit, right? Oh, she giggles to cover her confusion. Are you asking me out? I ain't interested in any silliness. Oh, that's a shame, because I can't contain the silly. She brushes away the hair from her forehead, the tangled chaos all over her scalp. Cares not for her efforts. Well, yeah, half my life ago I was living on crops, but I bet I've shot down more monsters than you've broken eggs. Are you much of a fighter? Many more eyes turn towards you. Oh, snap. I'm under pressure. I don't fight when I don't have to. Hard to say. I'd rather have friendly blades on my side. If you live as a traveler, you face enemies. Not really an option. I fight to protect others. That's my job. But there's something pleasing triumph. No, I fight to protect others. That's my job. That's why I'm out here. That's my goal. I want to help others as best I can. While Dalit pats the floor, the guards get back to their own affairs. Hero material, huh? Ain't something I'm gonna be jealous about. This trade of yours. I had a cousin who tried to get rich in the Roadwarden. She kept it together for maybe half a year. Was lucky enough to die in a village, not in the middle of nowhere. At least she hadn't woken up. The good folk burned her on a proper pyre. Well, ain't that nice? Have you ever been at the heart of the woods? Oh, we sometimes hunt south from there. There are good hunting grounds in the western half. The second one is too overgrown. Maybe the soil is different? She shrugs and moves the hair away from her forehead again. But it's a risky spot. There are treants there, and wolves, even the furless ones. And if you have to go through the tall grass, well, watch out for what's on the ground. There ain't many archers in the trees. Smiles as if it's a joke. There are all too many worms, even larger than a water leech. And I'm supposed to know what a water leech is. I'm gonna check the journal. Water leech. Nope, that's not in my journal. So I have some questions about this place. Oh, not much to tell, honestly. There may be beasts around, both wild game and dangerous monsters. We spend our time surrounded by these walls, leaving only to hunt, forage, or trade. That's an unusual tower. I'd expect it to be closer to the gate, and shorter. Any interesting creatures living nearby? Oh, your group seems to be quite attached to this boar. What do you usually hunt for? What can I find north from here? Have you heard anything about the necromancers? It's something new. Her voice lowers to a whisper. I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there, south. They told us that the place has changed too much. A priest died, I think, and the new ones awakens the dead. Sorry, Roadwarden. That's all I know. If she's hiding something, she sounds convincing. Your group seems to be quite attached to this boar. How can you not be? He crouches and raises the boar's head, but it steps away and squeals as if someone's murdering it. I came with us from the city, just in case. We had no clue how our first winter would go, so we needed some backup meat. And it works, too. Cleans the dirt. She reaches up to the beast again, but it trots away. The woman straightens up with a pleased sigh. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller, more cuddly, kind of like ibexes, so it's not such a wild, dangerous beast. But we don't let it get close to other animals or children. Any interesting creatures living nearby? Here? Everything lives here! She flips her hair. Hair flip. I swear, we saw a few dragons, a unicorn family, a battle between trolls and goblins, two beastmen, and a gargoyle, and a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you all about them, but I won't. She winks and pats the boar on its head. Hunters have their secrets. What do you usually hunt for? Anything we can eat or sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain. But when we move as a group, we look for something larger. Deers and aurochs are delicious, but we don't always look for taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, tusks, things people use to make tools or sculptures. We use some of them to make tools and spears. You can never have enough spears, let me tell you. Spears, they just disappear like nobody's business. You don't want a broken spear. And let me tell you, I stab a big beast man with my thin spear, and it snaps in two just like that, like it's a twig. They don't make spears like they used to anymore, you know? Yeah, you know. She pauses and looks at a strand of her hair, then suddenly speaks up again. And we look for furs, of course. Well, that's an unusual tower. I'd expect it to be closer to the gate, and shorter. Oh, like in Hovelvan? Fair, but it ain't here to protect the gate. This stronghold was built long before we moved in, and not to fight off humans. The tower was meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. For fires, dragons, and any winged creatures that are looking to roost on the roof. Baldy, she nods towards a man who, indeed, is completely bald. He has a great eye and sees all well, even in darkness. I have to ask about Baldy, too. There's so many interesting people here. I feel like they're characters that are written, and they were done so well. Crazy, that. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't really go to those regions. We stay close to home, only sometimes moving south or west to Howler's Dell. But only trade. Oh my god, I keep feeling like I'm about to sneeze. My nose is so stuffy and I have no idea why. They're fine with buying more than they need, since they then take wares to the coast. She takes a long breath, twirling her hair and gathering her thoughts. You know what? I've never seen a beach. And I've been living here for how many? More than 10 years now. The only part of the sea I've ever seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. She looks towards another huntress who confirms that her experience is the same. But Old Pagos is a good place. As long as you don't mock their order and act nice, they'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Yeah, thanks. Dalit hooks a thumb behind her belt and smiles gently. I'm looking for knowledge about wild creatures. Well, I told you our knowledge is valuable. I don't know. She looks at the boar, which seems to be obsessed with a clump of grass growing next to the wall. 15 dragons, no less. I don't have a... Oh, like 15 of the... I'm inferring that dragon bones are what the coins are. And people just make, like, sculpt tiny little coins out of dragon bones, and that's what they mean. But I have 4 of them. I had only 5, but then she lost it in the axe throwing competition. 15 dragons. Yeah, I definitely don't have the money for that. Yeah, never mind. The innkeeper's asked me to forage for berries. Oh, don't worry about it. Usually we forage by ourselves, but he wouldn't ask a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time, just to see who agrees to do them. He wants to judge people who's of use and who's too proud of their own good. If you've agreed, just be sure to get those berries today. And don't try to take his tools away. He hates thieves. Alright, I'll walk away then. I enter the inn. I want to ask him about the other people. The old hunter. Or no, they were old huntress. How about Baldy? Oh, he's been with us from the beginning. His family carries power in their blood. He's the unfortunate one that struggles with the simplest spells. Only after he joined us did we realize how sharp his senses are, like a wolf's. Turns out he still has the talent. It just moved from his will and hands to his eyes and ears. How about, one-armed man? I don't know, though. What do you mean? One-armed soldier? Man with one arm. What do you mean? Man with only one arm. Come on. Gotta think. I want to know about the one-armed man. Armless man? Fine, I give up. I go. Whatever. You step outside. Zeus is looking around. You hear the sounds of work coming through the armorer's shop. I don't really need to go to an armorer. My armor is just fine. Approach the guards. Enter the inn. Go to... Oh, can I approach the guards? Or the doll? No. I want to talk to the other guards. Go to the well. The recently renovated wooden roof covers the well from rain and birds. One of the guards is enjoying the cold drink he drew with a bucket. It tells you only to use as much water as is necessary. You need at least one piece of bathing equipment to get more in this place. Very well then, I step away. I should go outside and forage for berries. The innkeeper knew what he was talking about. You put on the gloves and look through the bushes from a safe distance. It doesn't take long before you notice the first serpent lying on a rock somewhere in the thicket. The creatures are not that large, and even if some of them hiss at you or slither closer, the jabs of the hook keep them at a distance. You don't know much about these berries. They're round and reddish. You wouldn't trust such a color even if you were looking for food in the wilderness. The plants don't have thorns, but the leaves are harsh, so you make sure to thoroughly cover your skin with your clothes. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket, but the presence of insects and snakes doesn't allow you to relax. I gather the berries and go back to the inn. Got a bucket full of berries. You've returned to the courtyard. 2 of the guards are participating in a friendly skirmish. Their wrestling is accompanied by a crowd. Windows are locked, and several guards are sleeping in the corner. Several guards are eating gruel and talking about the innkeeper at the stove. Something bothering you? I put his fruits on the counter. There we go. I got to eat. Great! He peeks inside the bucket. I've got cabbage stew, a few goose chunks for you. I'd serve it even to merchants if there were any around. The meal is warm and filling. It's well seasoned and not overcooked. And like I've said, I rarely have food to spare. But feel free to ask if you ever stop by. You may be lucky. I've been cooking my whole life. Oh, thanks. How did that old hook of mine work out for you? I still see you have it in your hands. I don't want to lie to him. That's mean. I'd like to buy it from you. I have 4 dragon bones. I'm not buying it. Give him the hook. He takes the tools from you and nods. Need anything else? Not really. I think I'm gonna go back outside. Are the guards still wrestling? No. That's a shame. Let's see. It took about 45 minutes, I think. I guess he said it was half an hour, so that checks out. Head to the armorer. You walk past the well and find a small open shed, not unlike the stable, but with a humble set of tables, carving tools, hammers, sharpening stones, pincers, knives, and other tools. As long as something else can be solved by brute force, this place will find a way to do so. There are 2 people sitting on the long bench. The first one is male, with maybe inch-long hair, a cleanly shaven face, a thin, long yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He ignores your presence, sewing a gambeson with great concentration. The second person is a boy, maybe 15, who's wearing the crude outfit of a farmer. He glances at you, but soon returns to sharpening a long dagger. Greetings! The man raises his head, but it's the boy who speaks, focused on his task. He ain't talking. Tell him what it is that you need. The man smiles in confirmation, looks at the piece of garment in his hands, then looks around, shrugs, and returns to you with a raised eyebrow. Maybe not right now, but I may be in need of your services. Could you patch my clothes if they were torn? I look at the youngster. Learning the trade, I see, or I leave the shed. Kind of, he answers reluctantly, but his teacher pats his knee, giving him a harsh look. The kid clears his throat. But we both ain't masters, you see? There's not a soul to teach us, so once I'm ready, I'll try hunting instead. Fixing things for others is boring. The man grunts a sound, though you don't understand it. Seeing your face, the boy chuckles. You said safe. Let's meet in the middle. Boring, but safe. The man nods. Could you patch my clothes if they were torn? He shakes his head and points at the uneven seams at his own tunic, then grabs a crude bone needle and shows you its broken head. He wouldn't if he had the tools, said the boy. Even if he had the tools. But you can try in Howler's Dell or Gale Rocks. Maybe not right now, but I may be in need of your services. New trader unlocked. Huzzah! He nods, points at the laces in the front of your jacket, raises his clenched fingers to his shoulders, then gently spreads and lowers them, as if he's taking off a robe. You follow his command, allowing him to properly inspect your gambeson. After a few minutes, he gives it back, then reaches for his pouch. He pulls out 1 dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves both of them in the air, pursing his lips. He makes a few speech-like noises with his empty mouth, groaning what sounds like, I don't know. I consider his offer. Your jacket is as good as this armorer can make it. I feel like this gambeson could use some adjustments. He nods enthusiastically, but then apologetically points behind him at a small box filled with basic tools. He ain't that experienced, says his assistant. We do this and that, but only simple things. Alright, so I'll keep this in mind, though. Suppose I could travel. I can do. Could you tell me about the boy? Well, he works, so he can stay, at least until he gets older. Then he'll have to prove himself. We found him on the road in the south not so long ago. Lost his entire family to trolls. Since the armorer needed someone to help him, we gave him a chance. Silent man. Don't know them. Mute man? Mute man. I said mute man. Alright then. I think we've done all that we can in this very humble inn. In fact, it has been over 2 hours. I think I'm going to stop here and we'll continue another day. So that is Roadwarden. Not the most exciting game, I'll admit. However, I hope that more exciting things will happen and you guys will enjoy watching. But if this really ends up being like ridiculously boring and you guys want me to do something else, even with me narrating it, that's perfectly okay. I would love to hear your feedback. Until then, I will see you next time.